After years of great sales in Europe, Canyon has recently come to North America and exploded on the scene. Tons of bikes have been sold, and the direct-to-consumer model does not appear to be going anywhere. Obviously, for a lot of customers, it's a little nerve-wracking to spend a lot of money on an unknown bike, or even if you're spending $2,000 or less on a bike like this one we're going to be unboxing here, it's still a significant amount of money to spend on something you've never seen, maybe never ridden before. And we wanted to take this opportunity to open up a Canyon bike that we're going to be testing as part of our sub $2,000 budget bike shootout coming up this month, and kind of show you guys what to expect from a direct-to-consumer brand like Canyon North America and what that build process is going to look like. So we've already cut the tape. We're going to get this box opened up and welcome you to the community of passionate cyclists. All right, so let's pull this Canyon out of the box and get the build started. Okay. Get that out of our way. So, this is the Canyon AL 6.0 SL. Retails for $19.99, and this is pretty much what you're going to be looking at if you order a Canyon, how it's going to show up. Pretty ready to go. It's not going to require a lot of assembly, so we'll walk you through some of the steps and show you guys how to set it up. First thing we're going to do is kind of undo all these little Velcro straps that are holding some of the foam and protective blocks against the seat post, hold the wheel up against the frame, and get the seat post inserted so we can get the bike up on the work stand. Little tip for you guys, these foam blocks with the Velcro are really neat. I'd suggest holding on to those, whether you shuttle in a truck or put a bike in the back of your van or car. Those things are awesome because they will definitely protect your frame against your buddies' bikes or luggage, anything else that you're putting in the back of your rig. So hang on to those for future use. All right, so now that we've got the front wheel free and our seat post undone, what we're gonna do is pull on the cable that's coming out of the housing here for our dropper post. And we're gonna get just a little bit of the cable exposed, just enough to where we can get the cable end set into our dropper post so we can slide that into the frame and get it up here on the stand. So we'll get that in there. So once you get the cable end keyed into that little eyelet, you're just going to give a little bit of a pull on the cable, pull it out of the housing of the end of the ferrule there. It will clip in and kind of sit nicely into that little recessed hole. And after that, what you're going to do is kind of give a gentle tug at the front of the, kind of up near the front of the head tube to assist as you push that seat post down. That way you're not causing any binding or kinking as you just try to push that seat post down into the frame. So we'll get that through here. Okay, and we're gonna leave the post a bit high just so that we can clamp it into the work stand down here rather than up on that kind of sliding stanchion part of the dropper post. Okay, then you're gonna need a 4mm Allen wrench. Tools are minimal for the build on this thing, which is great. So snug that up a bit and we'll put it in the stand. So we'll just finish kind of cutting up the rubber bands, holding the little brake pad spacer. Another good part to hold onto. It's always good having some of those in the drawer in case you need to pack up for a trip or take a wheel off to stuff a bike in a car. So we'll undo this last Velcro here. Now we've got our handlebars free. We get our Allen wrench out again, undo the 4 stem bolts here, and get the handlebars in. So the Canyon Neuron 6.0, again, retails for $19.99. So it fits just below our $2,000 price point cutoff for our upcoming budget bike Shootout. It's a 130 millimeter travel bike, front and rear. Comes with some NX Eagle parts on it. It's going to have some fast, low tread but fast rolling Maxxis Ardent tires, and we've got RockShox suspension setup on here with kind of some house brand cockpit stuff in the way of the stem and bars, and it'll be enough to get us out on the trail. We're really excited to see how it performs and how it compares to some of the more expensive Canyons that we've tested in the past, but we're pretty sure that this thing is going to be a good competitor in our sub $2,000 Shootout. So when I'm building a bike, I typically don't snug the stem up too much, just because adjusting bar roll and all the cockpit and levers is a lot easier to do once the bike's down on the ground and you're kind of standing up over it, sitting on top of the bike. So just get it snugged up enough to where they're not moving around and bouncing and rattling. And then again, once you get it down, you get your seat height, you get your bars adjusted. That's when you can really get the bar roll nice and good, get your levers set up, and then you'll be one step closer to having everything dialed in, rather than having to cinch down everything super tight just to loosen it again. All right, so we'll get our front wheel installed, and then after that, we're pretty close to being ready to ride. All right, guys, so there we are. That bike is assembled. Obviously, we've got a few things left to dial in. Angle of the saddle, seat height. Now that it's on the ground again, we can kind of tweak our bar roll. You know, something that you may want to consider if you're relatively new to riding is the best way to roll your handlebars. We see a lot of people riding with their elbows down and in, and sometimes if you roll those bars back too much, your elbows want to naturally drop already. Conversely, if you've got the bars too far forward, you're going to be riding like that. Your bend's not going to be comfortable on your wrist, could cause some strain, and just won't put you in a very efficient position. So imagine if you're doing a push-up, the most stable position that if someone came in and pressed you from the side, if you're trying to do a push-up this way, you're easily going to fall over. Whereas if you do a push-up with your arms out a little bit wider and someone comes to push you, you're going to be nice and stable. That's going to be a good gauge for a riding position, at least in our opinion. So pick that nice strong point, get that bar roll where it's comfortable for that, and from there adjust your levers, shifters, and you should be set up for a pretty strong and powerful riding position. After that, suspension sag, tire pressure, and this thing's ready to ride. So Canyon did a really nice job. No scratches on the bike. Everything's protected. Minimal packaging. There's not a lot of stuff for us to throw away. I mean, we got a cardboard box and a couple of these little guys to save for some upcoming road trips. But so props to Canyon for a really nice packaging job. Super easy assembly, and making a pretty good looking affordable bike. I gotta say, for under $2,000, this is a pretty sharp bike, and we're excited to test it out here in the future. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you out on the trails.